Scary by Leila Rudge. Most of the time, Gary was just like the other racing pigeons. He ate the same seeds, slept in the same loft, and dreamed of adventure. But on the race day, when the pigeons set off in the travel basket, Gary stayed at home to pass the time. He organized his scrapbook. He had a collection of travel mementos from everywhere. Except Gary had never been anywhere because Gary couldn't fly. The racing pigeons usually return just before supper, and they always discuss wind directions and fly past all waypoints. Gary loved hearing about their adventures. He would perch nearby and record everything in his scrapbook. Until one night, Gary leaned a little too far and lost his balance. His scrapbook flew up into the air, and Gary fell down into the bottom of the loft. And they both landed in the travel basket with a bump. The next day was the race day, and Gary was very long way from home. By the time Gary woke up, in the sky was full of feathers and flapping wings. The racing pigeons were racing. Except Gary didn't go anywhere because Gary couldn't fly. Soon, the other pigeons were dots in the distance. They were flying back to the loft. Gary wondered if he would ever find a way home. Or if he would be lost in the city forever. Gary's collection of travel mementos always perked him up, so he opened his scrapbook. Gradually, the city came to feel a little more familiar, and Gary felt a little less lost. Before long, Gary had plotted his own way back to the loft. Gary arrived home just before supper with all sorts of new travel mementos for his scrapbook and the most adventure story. Gary couldn't fly, but Gary had been everywhere. Most of the time, Gary was just like the other racing pigeons. He ate the same seeds, slept in the same loft, and dreamed of adventure. But on some days, the other pigeons were just like Gary. For the best children's books, look for the bear. Anybody could find an adventure, even Gary.